Welcome back to episode 4 of the Shoot Your Shot podcast. I'm your host, Zach.
I'm your co-host, Danny.
And let's just get right into it. We're just going to start off this podcast by having a brief moment of silence for Terrence Clark. Before that silence, he was a top high school prospect. He was planning to go to the NBA. Many thought he was going to get drafted. But unfortunately, a few days ago, he did die in a car crash. And we just hope that the NBA will carry out his dream by saying his name on draft night, and that we send out condolences to his family and friends.
Yeah.
All right. Again, rest in peace, Terrence Clark. Now, moving on.
First topic of the day.
Chet Holmgren to Gonzaga. Chet Holmgren, the number one player in the 2021 class, has committed to Gonzaga, which, for those who didn't know, was recently undefeated until the championship game in the NCAA tournament. Danny and we aren't as high on Chet as many people are.
He has cool highlights.
He has cool highlights, but I think we both agree that his body type we just don't see it translating.
His game will not be able to translate to his hype.
Yeah.
He's a good high school player because there's not a lot of people who can defend a guy of his size because he's just so freakishly built. It's like he doesn't have this crazy, I don't know how to explain it. You have it he's a unicorn type player, but at the same time, it's like he's just too skinny. He's 7 foot 190. I have him compared to Alexei Pokuchevsky.
Alexev Pokuchevsky of the Oklahoma
of the Thunder. I have him as a more developed version of that, but even then, it's like he's not gonna be the guy who will change your franchise. He'll be an amazing second option, I think, but
I think that's his ceiling.
Yeah,
realistically,
I don't think he's gonna be one of those guys who is gonna be able to change your franchise and would warrant being a top, number one overall pick, unless some team is already, kind of like the Warriors situation where it's like we already have our best player. We have Curry, but we're a piece away from moving on, and we happen to have a top pick. And in that case, I guess maybe you could warrant picking him really high because, let's face it, I doubt he's going to be a 3-4 year player. He's probably going to be one and done.
Yeah, realistically.
Like everyone else. So it's I just don't see him being even a top 5 pick unless a team not like the Warriors, because I don't think the Warriors would draft him, but I'm giving you an example of a team who kind of not lucked into, but traded into a higher pick than kind of their worth. Almost, you know what I mean? Because the Warriors are still fighting for a playoff spot. So I'm just saying he's not going to change the franchise. So I just don't see the hype around him. I don't know.
For me, it's that unicorn type players. Because let's give a few examples. You have Chet. You have Kristaps Porzingis, who's nickname is literally the unicorn. You had Thon Maker. You had Dragan Bender. The thing with Porzingis, he was different because no one expected anything from him. Everyone knows the clip of Knicks fans booing him on draft night.
Kid crying.
Yeah, and then he actually turned out to be an all-star. But what I found is that those unicorn type players never pan out when people hype them up. Because you look at Bender. People saw Bender as the next Porzingis out of the league. Thon Maker was supposed to be this incredibly athletic 7-footer. It was supposed to be a KD type, out of the league, and that's why I just
Bol is another one.
Bol. That was the other
Still
one.
developing. I think, if you look at the perfect unicorn, it's KD. Is the prototype unicorn. He's people. There's the whole thing 6'9". He's not 6'9". Everyone knows he's 6'11", 7 foot. He is what every unicorn player tries to be. Giannis was the unicorn. When he came into the league, he was skinny as shit. But he bulked up like no tomorrow, and he's now 6'11", 240. But you look at Chet, he's 7 foot 190. My dad, who is 6'3", 6'2", older individual. He's not in the best of shape, but he's floating from the 180 to 190 mark.
He's currently listed at 195.
I know, it's like that's a lot.
Yeah, which to also give perspective, I'm honestly on the skinnier side. I'm not like underweight, but I'm on the skinnier side. I'm 6'1". At my peak, I was 171.
Yeah, that is too skinny.
And this guy is damn near a foot taller than me.
He's going to be going, he's a big guy. He's going to be, if put him in the league, if he's your number one option, he's going to be going against AD, Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, other near 7 foot players.
Even Cat.
Yeah, they're going to just bully him. It's like, what is he going to do? It's like, that's why I think his ceiling. There's no way at his current height and weight he can be better than a number 2 option. He's just too skinny.
Yeah.
He'll bulk up. I don't think there's a doubt about that. I think he knows it. Gonzaga knows it. Any scout with 3 brain cells knows that he'll bulk up. But if you're telling me he's going to bulk up to 7 foot 240, no.
Yeah, that's what...
Even in a year.
That's what everyone's saying about Thon Maker's. Like, oh, he's going to bulk up, and like Kevin Garnett called him, he's going to be MVP next year. He was wrong. Jesus.
It's like he'll bulk up, but... as someone who's really skinny myself, I'm 6 foot. That's under debate. When I stretch, I'm 6 foot.
With good posture, you're 6 foot.
With good posture, I'm 6 foot. I'm 140. I've tried to bulk up before. At one point, I was like 5'10", 5'11", 125. Bulking up is not easy, especially for people who have spent most of their life really skinny. I understand NBA players, it's different, nutritionists, all of that, but at some point, at least for me, just forcing food down, and at the same time, they have to stay on top of their game. I felt sluggish, slow, and just, lethargic all the time when I was trying to bulk up. This guy has to still be an NBA fucking player while he's bulking up. Or even in high school, he has to be an NCAA top prospect while bulking up. It is not easy. What Giannis did, there's a reason he is the only example. Because everyone else has failed. Look at Bobo. He looks like the same he did on draft night, plus or minus 5 pounds. Because they realize he's not going to bulk up. There's no use. Yeah. That's his body. These guys are coming into the league. They're still young. Let's say he gets drafted 18, 19. He can grow until 21, but still.
Yeah, 7 foot. That is a lot. That is a big body that you have to build mass for.
Exactly. So, do I think he can reach his ceiling? Yeah. If he goes to the right team, they develop him nicely. Gonzaga's a good program. I don't know. We don't know a lot about development, but a bad program doesn't have the season that they did.
Yeah, you don't
You don't luck into
you don't go undefeated if you're bad.
You don't luck into that kind of situation. He's going to a good program. I guarantee you, he's done all of his research. He had plenty of offers to choose from. Any school would have loved to have him. He knows what he's doing, but it's like, I think the hype is getting to people.
I think he has a high ceiling if he bulks up, but he also has a
really low floor.
Yeah.
Because even if you look at guys who are last options, we're talking about garbage time players here. Why would you even put him against those guys? Let's say years down the league, he got released, whatever. Why would you put him against them? Because it's those garbage time players are still going to be bigger. So it's
it's a lot. There's a lot of
high risk, high reward.
There's a lot of factors that would need to work his way. But I'm not saying he can't. It's just unlikely in our eyes.
We're definitely rooting for him though, because he is definitely a really interesting prospect, and kid's got game.
Yeah. Moving on again, as we usually do, NCAA to NBA. The Knicks, good for once.
Very interesting to see.
Yeah, in my eyes, it's concerning that the streets of New York are going crazy for being the 4th seed, but you take what you can get. The question I asked is, are they legit? And when I say legit, I mean, do you think they can win even a single playoff series?
I personally let's say they finish 4th,
which is where they currently are.
maybe I'll give them a series. At least I think they'll be competitive. Because 4 through 7 in the East right now, all these teams are within 2 games of each other. And once Charlotte gets LaMelo back, if they get LaMelo back soon, they'll probably be competing for one of those spots as well. Because they're only like another game and a half back.
Yeah.
So any of those teams, they're all competing. Like it could completely flip, and I'd be like, all right, I don't doubt it. So I definitely think if they play the right team, they can go for a very interesting series. They are beating the teams they need to, but they don't have one of those staple wins in which you're like, damn, this team is legit. You know, like if they went toe to toe with like a healthy 76ers team, you know, and they won.
Or even like a semi-healthy Brooklyn team.
Yeah, like if they won, I'm not saying they need to blow them out, but I'm saying like if they had like a, you know, if they had a win in general versus a healthy 76ers team, Milwaukee team, I don't think the Nets can all be healthy at the same time. So let's say they got two of their stars there. Let's say it's Kyrie and KD. If they had a win against one of those teams, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe they can take them for a long series. But right now, I don't know about that. So I don't think they're going to take them for a
long.
If
the playoffs started today, their first round matchup would be against the Hawks.
No, I'm taking
and that is really winnable, especially if Trae Young does, because Trae Young just got hurt recently. If he doesn't recover well, that's easily winnable.
Because they don't have enough.
Their second round matchup would be against the winner of Nets versus whoever. So the Nets, I don't see them.
No, I don't see them going against the Nets. There's just no possibility. Depending on healthiness, whatever. But I don't think the Nets have had it where all 3 stars are out.
No, they haven't.
But still, it's like a lot of the team, you know, at the start of the season, both of us were talking about Nets being championship winners because of depth. There's just such a deep roster. Now, you know, they traded away a lot of their depth because a lot of their depth was like, oh, Jared Allen. Karis LeVert. Now it's all gone.
Dinwiddie's hurt.
Yeah, and Harden is coming in or out every other game, it feels like. So the depth isn't there. But let's say, assuming they got 2 out of 3 of the main guys.
I think it's a gentleman's sweep. I think the Knicks get 1 game. Maybe probably
at best 2. I don't think it.
But
yeah.
People were saying Julius Randle's an MVP candidate.
Nah, it's okay.
No.
Okay, good. Okay. Just because the guy can score 40 once in a while doesn't mean he's an MVP candidate.
He's doing really good, but like...
He's doing good, but at the same time...
It's just another one of those things. It's like, oh, the Knicks are the 4th seed. Everyone grace. LeBron James said the NBA is so much better when the Knicks are good. No, it's not. Viewership is still down.
And no, he's not an MVP candidate. If we're talking about top 10 means you're a candidate, sure. I'll give it to you. 100%. But if you're talking about candidate, I mean like someone who's going to get a top 3 vote, you got to be out of your fucking mind to vote for Julius Randle.
Exactly.
Everyone knows it's Curry, Jokic, Giannis.
Curry's not number 1.
He's not number 1. I'm just saying candidate.
Yeah, Curry, Jokic.
I feel like that we're a little biased.
Embiid.
Yeah, but like top 3, no matter who you ask, no bias, no Curry, for example. It's Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic. Randle is maybe a dark horse 7 to 10.
Also, I think something we should take kind of the Thibodeau being their coach because
I completely forgot Thibodeau's a coach.
He's actually a coach of the year candidate, but if those are Thibodeau has a tendency to play the shit out of his starters.
Overplay, like
So, 2 things about that. One, Randle's stats might be inflated, but you know we'll not dive into that. He's having a good season. But 2, when it comes to playoff time, those guys are gonna be tired.
Oh, 100%.
And that you saw it with the Bulls. As gruesome an instance this is, Derrick Rose got hurt on his first big injury was on a Thibodeau team, and he was playing a lot. And I think his body just.
It's hard. It is hard. Thibodeau plays the shit out of his starters. He likes his starters, and he will play them until they collapse. And the Knicks aren't, they're not getting these blowout games in which, like, we all, like, as Warriors fans, we knew infamously Curry doesn't play the 4th.
Yeah.
Clay will be in there for, like, 5 minutes. they don't play.
Just to make sure
just to seal the win.
Just to make sure that Steph doesn't have to go in.
You know, I was one of those guys when I played basketball in high school. I was a 20 guy. I either play when we're up 20 or we're down 20. And that's exactly when Steph rests. But not with Tom Thibodeau. And the Knicks aren't even getting into situations where they're like consistently blowing teams out.
Yeah.
Like they've had some blowouts. But it's not enough to say that Julius Randle is going to have rest. Yeah. You know, everyone on that team.
The backup to Randle is like what, Obi Toppin, who's like he's a lottery pick, but you're not playing.
But he's not going to be giving you
their center
40
is,
that you're.
Their center is Nerlens fucking Noel, which he's okay.
He's enough. He's but he's not going to be dropping what you need from Randle.
Yeah, and then I don't even like what was it Randle, Noel. Then you have
Barrett,
shooting guard. I think they still start Alfred Payton for reasons only known to them, and I don't even know who's their small forward.
Let's look this up. We're not Knicks fans.
Because it's not Knox. Or maybe it's like Barrett. It's the small forward.
No, because
Emmanuel quickly comes off the bench.
Damn, they just chose point guards on that team. Reggie Bullock. Is that just the roster in general? I think that just might be the roster going in order.
Reggie Bullock actually is their starting small forward. It very well might be.
Taj Gibson is in the league. Like I feel like he's been 35 for 10 years.
So okay, you have Reggie Bullock as your starting. Jesus Christ.
That is
not a deep.
That is not what you want.
Yeah,
What is he averaging this season? Let me see. Bullock is currently averaging 10 points. What? 3.4 rebounds and 1.5 assists.
Yeah, the Knicks are not deep. So, if, God forbid this happened, but if Thibodeau plays one of his players literally to an injury, they have nothing
And to
else.
prove our point about the minutes, Julius Randle is averaging 37.5 minutes a game.
Wasn't they say RJ Barrett and Julius Randle are number 1 and number 2 in minutes per game?
I wouldn't be surprised. RJ Barrett is averaging 34 minutes a game. Let's see what Curry is playing as much as he can. I wonder how many minutes he's currently averaging.
Reggie Bullock is averaging almost 30
He's averaging
minutes.
34.
RJ Barrett is getting, more minutes or as many?
More minutes than Steph Curry. Steph Curry this season is averaging 34 minutes.
Yeah, that is...
RJ Barrett has 34.4. That is way too many minutes for someone that you're going to really, I don't know. Because you have to wonder, it's do we fight for a higher seed? Or do we rest guys so they're actually, available to play? Not available because, they're not injured, but it's more like one of those things where...
So they don't get injured.
So they don't, injury prevention. We're not talking about the Steve Kerr injury prevention where it's you hold on to guys for too long, things like that. It's just ease off the gas a little bit with Julius Randle. Jesus Christ, 37.5 minutes a game.
Jeez, that is...
But at the same time, you have to have him in because... He is by far your leading scorer.
He's your best player.
By far your best
almost
player.
Every aspect.
And you're not convincingly winning all of your games.
So, yeah. Knicks fans, enjoy this while you can.
You are still many pieces away.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a bright side. RJ Barrett.
Randle,
the development of Obi Toppin,
and Derrick Rose having
a good backup season.
It seems like he keeps having rejuvenation seasons.
Yeah, it's just he's just D Rose. You cannot not cheer for him.
All right, so now we keep talking about the NBA, but now we let you guys get to know us a little bit better.
The real shooters of
your shots.
Of your shots.
So we each have our top 5 favorite players lists, and we'll just go over why we have them on our list. So you want to go first? I'll go first.
Sure, I'll go first. So
All
Steph Curry, no bias whatsoever. I'm a Warriors fan. I'm not gonna be like since I was born. No, I haven't even watched basketball since I was born. But Steph has just so many iconic moments in the Bay, so much history, and he's just such a fucking amazing player, so easy to root for.
Yeah.
It's like just a family man, underrated prospect, came back from injury, and is just the greatest shooter I've ever seen. It's just so pure and so beautiful. It's like that is why basketball was made.
Yeah.
It's like you cannot root for Steph, Warriors fan or not. Next we have Jokic. Jokic is just one of those like I'm a little different from Zach in terms of like I like centers a lot because that's what I played when I really enjoyed basketball was back when I was good. We weren't these great players for a long time. My golden years of basketball,
Your prime.
my prime came in 7th and 8th grade. I wasn't this JV player even, I was a freshman shitter. So 7th and 8th grade, I played center. I wasn't, I'm not going to lie. I was insane. I was on the B team, but I was insane. I was having the fucking time of my life playing center, and I loved all these crafty European players. So Zach and I both did active players only, just simplify it. So I chose Jokic because he's just everything. And he's just hilarious.
He's hilarious. He's so funny.
Absolutely hilarious. He's what the NBA needs, but not what the NBA wants. The league, I don't know, like Adam Silver clearly does not want some of his jokes, but he's just a cool ass dude. And he's a fucking baller. His passing, shooting, demeanor, all around, great guy. Next, I got Kevin Durant. He reminds me of me because I'm not saying I'm like a great scorer or a great shooter. I'm just saying a fucking skinny dude that slim Reaper type.
Tall, skinny dude.
Yeah, it's like that's it. He's just an amazing scorer, just amazing everything. He left the Warriors.
But he joined the Warriors.
He joined the Warriors. Exactly. We won a ring with Kevin Durant. So that's it. He's just a great scorer, just all around great guy. Next is going to be a little surprise for most people. Jarrett Allen. Another one of those center guys that I love. Rebounder, hustle, sick ass fucking afro.
But the main reason?
He's a gamer. On his Twitter, he was reposting, this is a while ago, and he's an NBA player, he has priorities, shit from Nintendo. I'm not the biggest Nintendo gamer, but Zach is. Overwatch League retweets, CSGO retweets.
Like Danny, his two favorite games are like CSGO and Overwatch. Jared Allen does that. I'm a Nintendo gamer. He retweets that shit.
So it's like, he's just a fucking cool guy, alright? And he's this fucking cool ass center. He just seems like one of the boys. Jared Allen, if you'd like to come on to the podcast.
Please.
We would love to have you for, totally not just for exposure.
Yeah, and also not to be like fill up a third of the room just from your pure size.
Yeah, and last but not least, I got Luka Doncic, another European, just fucking came out. I'm not gonna say came out of nowhere, but I don't think people were expecting what he's doing right now. He just came in, started shitting on absolutely everyone and their fucking everything, and it's just saying, he's just having a good time playing basketball, doing cool ass shit. What else can you want, honestly?
He's a lot like Jokic, like this unathletic European guy, but he'll kick your ass.
He just has a better understanding of the game than you can expect. You look at him, he's unassuming as fucking 6'7", whatever could be. But, it's like you see him compared to someone like a prime LeBron. Prime LeBron, you look at that and it's like, that's a basketball player. That dude is athletic peak. Everything is perfect. Genetics, IQ, everything.
Hell, even his hairline got fucking restored.
Out of respect. It came back out of respect for the player and the man. And that's just... But look at Doncic, you wouldn't expect that. But he plays. I'm not saying he plays as good as prime LeBron. But I'm just saying...
He's not that far off.
He's not that far off. He's definitely not as athletic.
Yeah.
Prime LeBron was probably one of the greatest super athletes we will see while we're alive.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine you can get any better than that, honestly. But it's like Luka Doncic is just fucking so good, and such a cool guy too.
So my list is definitely weirder and definitely needs more explanation. Steph Curry is also my number one. Mine's ordered. I don't. Yours wasn't.
Mine
ordered.
wasn't fully
Yeah.
ordered. Mine, everyone is like, no, everyone on my list. Like, if they were like, you want to hang out, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I do.
So for me, Steph Curry number one. My reason's a little bit different. My top five. It's mostly personal reasons. I started watching basketball in 2009, which is when Steph got drafted. And I remember he was like literally the first person that I watched play like an extended NBA game. I was just like, I like this guy. And I just to see him from when I started watching as this small, young looking kid who got injured a lot, but when he played, he was really good. To a unanimous MVP, greatest shooter of all time, and I would argue greatest shooter that we will ever see. I'm going to make that claim.
It's hard to imagine you can improve upon what Steph
Just to
Curry's done.
see his journey as a young fan, I love it.
Also, that's funny too. People are like calling us bandwagoners. It's like
no, I followed him from his bottom.
It's like my dad had to watch Andres fucking Biedrins play. All right, do you know what pain is? He watched the Warriors since Run TMC and them fucking up every draft pick imaginable and every trade.
So it was good to see Warriors.
So it's like, yeah, we, our family, honestly, our families separately. It's like we're not OG, we haven't been watching since freaking the 60s, 70s, but it's like we're not bandwagoning when we say that we're Curry fans and we're Warrior fans.
That Curry, I will forever thank you for getting me into basketball because I almost give it all to him. Number two, and this is probably the weirdest one, Jeff Green at number two is my second favorite NBA player. Now, obviously I need to explain this.
Yeah.
I started watching basketball in 2009. That's when I was watching it. But when I really got into it was 2012, 2013. And obviously that's when Steph popped off. That was his breakout year. But that was also when I started watching YouTube highlights a lot. Because that was when my parents actually let me watch YouTube. And every night you would see a Jeff Green highlight. He was clutch. He has so many game winners. It's weird. It's weird because
surprising. How are the games this close this often?
And because he had 3 game winners in his Celtics career alone.
Just the clutch gene.
And it's completely out of nowhere because it's Jeff Green. No one expected that from him.
Oh, 100%.
And you dunk it on everyone.
I think the dunk highlights is probably what most people would remember Jeff Green.
Yeah, that's what drew me to him.
Because that guy can fucking throw it down.
Yeah, he's even today he just absolutely obliterated Jackson Hayes earlier.
That's not a short person.
But a big reason, I think the biggest reason was I eventually learned that prior to that season he had actually had heart surgery, and to see him just be so entertaining to watch after that, because heart surgery that can, if it goes wrong, you're dead.
And it's one of those things that'll push you into retirement, even if it goes well. It's one of those things where it's like
it is so.
We've seen players like Chris Bosh with blood clot. It's not heart surgery, but it's serious problems that they could continue, but
LaMarcus Aldridge recently.
Very recently, it's like, is it worth it to continue?
Yeah, and he did, and he just balled out. And what I love is that he's just so calm.
Yeah, and humble.
He doesn't talk trash unless he destroys your ass on a dunk. But other than that,
it's hard not to.
Yeah,
I was putting every dude I saw in a body bag.
So calm. He's just a family man. Just it's hard. his story, his highlights. That's what drew me to him. Especially, it was just honestly perfect timing because it was right when I was really getting into basketball. Number 3, Andre Iguodala. Pretty much the same thing as Jeff Green. A lot of clutch shots. Really, I love dunks, especially like posters, and I liked him with the Nuggets. And then when he joined the Warriors, I was like, yes.
That was really fun. Still remember, like speaking of like the Nuggets, I remember that one crossover he had against the Nuggets. That was in the playoffs.
No, it was like.
Was it?
It was right before the regular season ended.
It was, okay, but I remember that. Just crossed. It was like right by the half court.
Yeah, behind the back crossover, and then just.
Oh my god, that dude just fell.
And then like earlier that season, I was watching a game, and then he had a buzzer-beating game winner against the Thunder, and I was like, yes, this is why I like him.
And his defense was
incredible. His reaction, he's funny, and he was a key piece in our championship. So that's why I have him number 3. Why I have him less than Jeff Green though is just honestly because 2 reasons. One, his shooting isn't that good. Like towards the end, especially towards the end of his career, like 1-3 a game was like incredible for him. His free throw shooting was atrocious, and also he took a Finals MVP away from Steph, who was my favorite player.
It was against Quincy Miller.
Yeah, he destroyed.
And
Quincy
I was
Miller.
right. It was like right past the logo. It was nasty.
So Iguodala, Iggy, number 3. Number 4, Miles Turner. Turner is now obviously he was drafted like when I was like already into basketball, but what I liked about him is that one random game, just out of nowhere, me and my parents were watching. It was a Pacers game, obviously.
Obvious, really? Oh,
and
you don't say.
And I just said, Miles Turner checks into the game, and I told my dad, this guy is going to be pretty good. And I would have...
With a hunch? Or?
No, literally I just said it. I guess you could say it with a hunch.
Spoke it into existence.
And it would not be a stretch to say he's pretty good. He's consistently a top shot blocker in the NBA.
And we fucking at least I am a fucking huge fan of blocking. I just love smacking the shit out of the air, seeing the poor dude's reaction, of how I just made him just so sad. He thought he was going to score on me. I just said no. It's just one of the best parts of the game.
I like how he developed his game to have an outside shot. Also, again, dunks. He has some of the nastiest posters you'll ever see.
Yeah. He's a strong fucking player. He plays
he's strong
to
and
his
he's
size.
Athletic.
Yeah. He knows what he is.
Now, I wish he was more of a post player because he has sort of like that Embiid like the problem Embiid had a couple years ago where it's like you're that big but you're pretty much only shooting jump shots, which he can shoot, but
yeah, he definitely needs to like be able to back dudes down.
Yeah, but that is like kind of like the only real problem he has.
Very low on the list of things that bother me.
And also like he's on the same team as Domantas Sabonis, who's also a post player, so like maybe like for an offense point of view that wouldn't really work, but other than that, like I predict he wasn't as good as I hoped he would be. I was thinking he'd be an all-star by now, but I said he was good. He ended up being good. His highlights are incredible, and
he also just seems like a chill guy.
Yeah, chill guy. My last player, Aaron Gordon. One simple reason, dunk contest. And also he's on my second favorite team, the Magic. Well, he was. And now he's on my third favorite team, the Nuggets. But like he was just his dunk. It was out of nowhere. Like in the 2016 dunk contest, it was like, oh, Levine's gonna win this easily, And then Aaron Gordon just pulls up the fucking.
He turned up the heat.
Just does the scoop, this 360 scoop off of the fucking mascot on the what was it called? What was those things called? The hoverboard. I was like, well, hold on, you can do this, and then the under the legs.
A double under both.
Under both legs. That was insane. He should have won in 2020. Fuck Derrick Jones Jr. Fuck Dwayne Wade. He should have won that year. That was complete
You have to wonder,
bullshit.
it's like these guys know how to dunk. These guys know how hard it is. So why the fuck are they so bad at voting?
Yeah. Well, that's a topic for another day. But Aaron Gordon, like what Danny likes about blocking, I kind of like about dunking. It's just he's so athletic, and he also developed his game to actually not just be a dunker. He's
100%.
solid.
He's actually a fucking great player.
Yeah, and I just dunk contest. I love them, even though they're shit half the time. But he brought it back for a couple years.
Yeah, because the dunk contest, it's like I feel like early 2000s era was probably
prime when you had Vince Carter and Jason Richardson.
Yeah, and then it started to kind of go downhill because it's like, it's not an. I feel like the whole thing. We'll definitely get into this more because we have discussed this a lot about the All-Star game and why they're switching things up, but nothing good, and they're not getting rid of things that need to be removed, like some shit like the skills challenge that literally is possibly the stupidest shit ever because it literally tests skills for like a small forward because it's like, of course a center isn't going to be jacking up threes. So yeah, it's like we'll get into that, but I think definitely when him and Levine were in the dunk contest together, it was seriously an interesting time.
Yeah. So now that you know kind of what we kind of our basketball background, now I'm gonna. So I have a next topic. I have a most overrated players list, which obviously, in my opinion, people are going to disagree with it, but I have a list of my top 5 most overrated players lists. I'm going to read it to Danny. He'll say which ones he disagrees or agrees with, and then he'll give his own, and vice versa. So,
I didn't make one. I thought.
Whoops.
It's okay. I'll just go off Zach's list.
You do it.
You'll be the
or
ESPN.
Or just think of one off rip.
Okay.
So, my most overrated, the player who I personally think is the most overrated player in the NBA, Tyler Hero.
Okay, 100%.
So 100%. These are my reasons. If you remember when James Harden requested a trade, the Heat were like one of the leaders to get him, but they weren't willing to trade Tyler Hero for him. I'm sorry, James Harden is probably second to Durant, if not better, the greatest scorer in our game today.
Yeah.
He is an MVP, made it to the conference finals, basically carried the Rockets for 7 years, and you wouldn't trade Tyler Hero for him? Meaning they saw Tyler Hero as a James Harden level player. He's not that.
It's like he's a 3-point shooter. That's the thing.
But he's not even the best.
He's not even okay. Look it up right here. 34.4% this season. Yeah. James Harden this season is 35.8. I understand James Harden isn't as young as Hero, but do you think Hero is going to start creating his own shot off the ISO? To that level. Exactly. It's like the whole thing about the Miami offense is that you don't really create your own shot, at least from what I've seen.
It's Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and then shooters.
Yeah, it's just, it's like similar to the Warriors in terms of like, Steph doesn't do a lot of ISO shit. Clay definitely doesn't do a lot of ISO. And those are the two shooters. So it's similar to that. But Steph can do things on the ISO. And same with Clay. If they need to, they will. Tyler Hero does not have that in his game. James Harden does.
And one of my favorite quotes that I saw was, Tyler Hero gets the credit that Duncan Robinson deserves.
Honestly, yeah. I like Duncan Robinson more because he's just more chill. Like, Tyler Hero thinks he's hot shit.
There was actually, I'll get to that point later, but in terms of just stats, if you look at advanced stats, Tyler Hero in his second season has gone worse in virtually everything. So,
sophomore slump, I guess, right?
Yeah, true shooting percentage, gone down. But the one I want to look at were offensive box plus minus, and I think that was it, actually. Oh, no, shooting percentage also went down. That was the other one. Offensive box plus minus, which is basically just how well the offense does when you're on the court. Negative for both of his seasons. Meaning, in theory, the offense is worse when he's on the court. his box plus minus, which is just team's overall performance when you're on the court, negative both years, and it's gone lower. Both negative.
I'd like to say this quickly about Duncan Robinson. He's shooting 40.5% this season. So
Literally doing hero's job better than him.
Literally a better player.
And
he's 26 now. I did not know he's 26.
He was a 4-year college guy, and then he was a G League.
But still, it's like.
So Hero is he's an offense is his game, and it's getting worse. Obviously, he's young, but still, you don't want to see downward trend, especially in percentage. And he got celebrity treatment. Like, he got the popularity. I swear to God, people still make memes out of his snarl in the NBA Finals.
Didn't Jack Harlow make a song that was called Tyler Hero?
Yeah, so the Heat, in an article by the New York Post, even the Heat are concerned, it was the wording, about his celebrity lifestyle. And you could see, like, he had some good games in the playoffs, don't get me wrong, but you could tell that once he had those good games, his ego just shot up.
Yeah, he really needs to realize that he's like, okay, if this season he came out and he was dropping 20 a game, that's not near James Harden numbers, and it's only technically 5 points more, but at least you would be more justified simply because you improved a lot. You took a big leap after a big season. I mean, big rookie season. But he hasn't really taken a leap. He's taken just a little bit, not fallen off a cliff.
In his basic stats, he's taken like a baby step, but in advanced stats, he's taken a step back.
Yeah, so it's like...
And we're back after some technical difficulties.
Yep, we're just re-recording the last minute or so.
So we were saying Tyler Hero, gone worse. I think he's the most overrated because he should have been traded for Harden. Yeah, I don't like him. Number 2 on my most overrated players list, Rudy Gobert.
We agree with this one a lot. We're not fucking crazy over Rudy Gobert. He's not a dog shit player, but at the same time, people are treating him like he's a lot better than he really is, I feel like.
So the reasons I put for having him at second most overrated, he is making
40-something million more.
Yeah, he's making a lot of money. He's making...
Well, I'll pull up his stats so we can take a quick look at that.
Well, the reason I add is he complained in 2018 about being snubbed from the All-Star team, and so which was like, what do you do? Like, my comparison
rebound
to him,
mostly.
He is a Miles Turner with a less of an offensive game, because he is literally at the rim. That is your range. Free throw line, gotten better, but still not that good. Anything past the paint he's not there.
His free throw percentage this season is 61.5.
5 years, $205 million. So he's making $41 million a year.
Quite a bit, if you don't mind me saying.
And I understand it's like we don't want every all-star to just be offensive guys, but you have to have some offensive game.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
All-star is the best players in the world, because this is the best league in the world. So in turn, that makes the NBA players the best players in the world. You need to be well-rounded. 14.4 points a game. James Wiseman came into the league and was damn near about to average the same numbers, other than maybe rebounds.
And I agree he's a really good defender, but he's just tall. And for a guy for the guy who complained about not being an all-star, even though he's just really doesn't do much on offense, or just be tall. And if you're an all-star, that means you're a top 4 center in the NBA. Is he really though?
Yeah, it's hard to like. I think the easy 1 and 2 for at least each conference: Embiid, Jokic. Solid.
And then even just the West, Jokic, Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
And then if you want to put him at center, Anthony Davis.
Yeah, because you could do him power forward center.
And it's like,
it's hard to say Gobert is better than them.
And he's
defensively,
and no way in hell he's worth $41 million.
Oh no. It's like defensively, he can guard them, but can he score on them?
He can score on them,
and these guys aren't the best defenders, but they're not shitty. But it's like, what does he do?
So
he's just taller than the other guy most of the time.
It's the same thing as, well, another person I have on the list. I'll get into him later, but I get it. You're a great defender. No one's taking that away from you, but you don't pay $41 million for a guy to be a rim protector, because he's not. I don't even think he's that good as like a post-up defender. He's just a good at.
Yeah, because he's not really. He's not really big. He's only 258, which at 7'1" is like you've filled out the frame, but you're not bulky or anything like that. And he, I'll give this to him: 2.8 blocks a game.
But Miles Turner also averaged close to that many blocks in, I believe, last season, and he didn't even make all defensive team.
That is kind of fun.
So, Rudy Gobert, second most overrated, just because he's getting Stephen.
Turner is averaging 3.4 blocks.
Yeah, Turner is averaging 3.4 blocks per game, and I think the season I was talking about, he averaged 2.5. And he didn't even make all defensive team. Meanwhile, people were like, "Oh, Rudy Gobert, 3 straight defensive player of the year." It's like
no, he's not shutting down. He's not shutting down the best players in the league. And Miles Turner is currently making $17.5 million. So half.
Less than half.
Exactly. It's like, yeah.
Number 3 on my list, Kawhi Leonard, as the 3rd most overrated player in the NBA. Now, I think this is probably the first one we disagree on. I feel like it's disagreeing at him being number 3.
Okay.
I think you also think he's overrated.
I feel like it's hard because him alone, they haven't been making a lot of noise down there in LA.
Here are my reasons. Yes, he has 2 Finals MVP. That's like the first thing people point out. The first year, old Heat team. And he had 3 Hall of Famers on his team: Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker. So he wasn't really carrying a load. Yeah, he guarded LeBron. That's good. We're not taking that away from him. But in his second Finals MVP, he was basically playing against the G League team. The Warriors were completely crippled.
Yeah.
Clay got hurt. Durant was there for all of 20 minutes. Not even 20 minutes, like 10 minutes. It was such a, no shit you won Finals MVP. No one's gonna take that away from you. The fact, honestly, it should be disappointing that you guys only won in 6. Against that team, you should have swept them.
Yeah.
And we said he has not done much for the Clippers.
I think
people were saying the Clippers were. Everyone was saying when the season he came to Clippers, everyone was saying Clippers are better than the Lakers. Clippers are gonna. It's going to be.
I just feel like
Clippers versus Lakers.
I don't know. This season, his numbers are looking fucking good. 25.7 points, 6.7 rebounds, 5.1 assists. He's shooting 50. He's close to doing 50, 40, 90. That is fucking respectable for,
it's good. Those are good stats.
But
it's the same. But again, this is a guy who people were also saying was better than LeBron.
That one's hard to say because LeBron carried shitters. Absolute shitters.
And I look at what you do. I look at what you do in the playoffs. Which there's something I should have after Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert basically disappears in the playoffs because he has no offensive game. Kawhi Leonard, Yeah, his Raptors run up until the finals was really good. But in the finals, you should not. It should not have been that close. Like you winning in 6 against a crippled Warriors team is not something to be proud of. Really, I mean, it's a championship. You should be proud of that. But and last year in the playoffs, you blew a 3-1 lead, and people will quickly point to Paul George and how bad he was, which he was.
He was
bad.
Pandemic P was not helping.
But Kawhi Leonard was not better. That much better. In Game 7 against the Nuggets, I'm pretty sure he did worse than Paul George, statistics-wise. And this is a guy where people were saying, better than LeBron. When he joined the Clippers are better than the Lakers. People keep gassing him up, and he's like, your accomplishments, as impressive as they have some, I guess, like catches to them.
I feel like if let's say this, don't compare him to. Let's say the LeBron comparison never happened. Is he still?
If no one compared him to LeBron, if no one said he was better than LeBron, then he wouldn't be on this list.
I definitely agree with that. My iPad randomly went off. But I definitely agree with that. I feel like to compare him to LeBron, he's a fucking great player. He has great numbers. He's done a lot of great things. Not LeBron. LeBron has carried literal trash.
People were saying he's better than LeBron. Has never won an MVP. Regular season MVP.
Yeah. Because, I don't know, LeBron truly was the most valuable player. Kawhi is great, but he hasn't carried his team.
Yeah.
I feel like, I'm not saying MVP always has to put his team on his back, but he has to really stand out. And I think maybe Kawhi just isn't flashy enough because his numbers are amazing.
But it's kind of just saying he's a regular season player.
Exactly. So it's like
he does do well in the playoffs, but
it's just not LeBron level.
He did well in the playoffs in that Raptors run, but this whole San Antonio situation, how that didn't really sit well with me.
I did not.
You could say I'm salty because he beat the Warriors, sure, but I don't think.
I feel like he didn't handle that with class. I don't know. I don't really like it whenever a player, this goes for like, I'm a lot bigger of a football fan than Zach, so I can say it in a football terms. I don't like it when players sit out. Yeah. If you don't like the terms of your contract, then fucking why did you sign it? Why don't you have another out? If you're sitting out and forcing them to do something, it feels scummy. You play the contract out. Yeah. It's like, I get you don't want to get injured 100% and then you lose your trade value. But still, you signed a contract. You made an agreement to play. So if you're still healthy, you still got to play.
So Kawhi Leonard, the reason he's number 3 is the LeBron comparisons. That I think those were completely
I feel
unwarranted.
like without the LeBron comparison, he's just another great, humble player.
Number 4, Ben Simmons. Now,
I feel like that's just because he's a point guard.
For me,
he's just bigger than everyone.
Yeah. For me,
like if you put him at shooting guard, he's a fucking bum. Yeah. Because
Ben Simmons to me is just like, people was like, oh, he's a jump shot away from being great. Yes, but guess what?
Draymond Green is too.
Yeah, guess what? Ben Simmons doesn't have a jump shot. Giannis barely has a jump shot. Draymond Green doesn't shoot. Just because you say this guy is a jump shot away from being great doesn't mean he's gonna get it.
I'm 4 inches away from starting for some Division I program in Iowa or Delaware. Doesn't fucking mean I'm ever gonna get it.
And it's not even that he's not even trying. And I know it's like, oh, it's only one thing, but shooting is probably the most important skill you need to have,
especially in this league,
in this era,
this modern high scoring, air raid, fucking let it rain down, Steph Curry 12 threes a game kind of league. You got to be able to shoot. He is just so good because he's listed as a point guard. Let's face it. If Draymond moved to, let's say this season, Draymond is now listed as a point guard, Steph moves to shooting guard, and we just slide everyone down basically from there. Draymond Green is an older Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Because what does Ben Simmons seriously provide? It's like,
he's a great defender, but here's the thing.
It's just a size advantage.
One point I pointed out is that he has basically complained to all of his accomplishments. Currently complaining, or I guess not really complaining, but just speaking it, basically trying to speak it to existence that he's Defensive Player of the Year. He did the same thing with Rookie of the Year. I think he did it for All-Star. But he's claiming, he always claims things before it actually happens.
He's 6'11"?
Yeah, he's tall.
Did he fucking grow? I could have sworn he was 6'7".
He might have been at maybe
When he got drafted. That is insane. 6'11" and point guard. That's why I compared him to Draymond because I thought he was also 6'7". 6'11" point guard. If you're not shutting down every single fucking person, you're garbage. 6'11", 240.
If you can't shoot on the
He's a center. He could feasibly start at center for 90% of the teams in the league.
So,
Jesus, I didn't know he was 6'11". I need to look up his NBA draft combine now.
for Ben Simmons, he always claims things before they happen. He talks shit even though he hasn't really proven anything. And
as a 6'11" fucking point guard, he's averaging 14.8 points, 7.6 rebounds, 7.1 point assists.
He's
really, that's it. That's it. It feels like for how much hype he gets, how much shit he talks.
And for
little more than that.
For pretty much every year people were saying the surefire all-stars. People are now I know people were trying to make defensive players more recognizable, but if that's all you do is play defense, it's not.
His comparison was LeBron/Lamar. Oh no, 6'10" coming out of LSU.
He's also got comparisons to Magic Johnson. So and also a similar thing to Gobert. He just disappears in the playoffs.
He's not enough.
I think in the year that the Sixers had Jimmy Butler, it was literally Ben Simmons has to play power forward because we cannot run him at point guard because he doesn't shoot. And it's like you can be as good as defender as you want to be. If you are that much of a liability on offense, you are not that good. In my opinion, you should not be an all-star.
Looking at 2019 playoffs, points 14, 6, 10, 10, 7, 21, 13. This is supposed to be your what?
If you're a franchise player, you should not be getting single digits in a playoff game.
Yeah, that is
and even to make
and look at the minutes played here isn't nothing. He's not playing 33 minutes, 34, 36, 38, 25, 33, 42. He is playing whole fucking games here. He's not sitting out a quarter. He didn't pull his hammy, so he sat out 2 quarters and got taped up. These are full fucking games.
And you're barely average. And also even though defense is probably the first thing people point to, you could make the argument he's not even the best defender on his team. You could make a legitimate argument that Joel Embiid or even Matisse Thybulle is a better defender than him. His defensive rating is 107. That's the same defensive rating as Kent Bazemore. That is the same defense. It's a higher defensive rating, which means worse, than Steph Curry in his first MVP season. So it's obviously defensive rating is it's an iffy stat, but
all stats,
it is not mind-blowingly good defense. And
at his height, for his position, he is not doing nearly enough of what it feels like he should be.
Or especially not what he claims to be doing.
6'11", 240. That's 50 pounds and 8 inches on Steph Curry.
And he actually was hurt, but
yeah, it's come on.
So to wrap this one up, the 5th most overrated player in the NBA. I feel like you disagree with this one. I have Giannis.
Okay, no, I can definitely see where you're coming from. He can't fucking shoot.
It is almost the exact same reason as Ben Simmons, minus all the Ben Simmons like I'm defensive player of the year, I'm an all-star, I'm
Giannis is a great personality. He just can't fucking shoot. Because people, I think it's almost similar to the Kawhi one, where it's like he's LeBron, but it's like, you guys realize LeBron could shoot. Giannis is just LeBron, like prime LeBron athletics, but worse.
Yeah,
because he just can't shoot.
The thing with LeBron is that, like, people think LeBron's a bad shooter because shooting is probably his worst skill. He's not a bad shooter.
He's not a bad shooter. The only thing is that was pretty funny. I don't know if you remember. It was this meme where it was like the worst shot selection in the NBA.
Oh yeah, the worst shot selection in the NBA is when LeBron made a 3 the prior possession.
Yeah, it's like he's just jacking up, like heaving up half quarters with like 19 seconds left in the shot clock. That was fucking hilarious. And it was like Lakers LeBron. This isn't like Cavs LeBron rookie season.
Prime LeBron.
This is like prime LeBron. Zero. I don't think he did. It wasn't in the playoffs where I saw those. But
no, it's all regular.
Zero dark 30 LeBron was just too fucking mad to shoot. He just fucking dunk over anyone in his way. But it's like, he still was at least making a 3 that at least, not insinuous. It at least guarantees that he made a 3 the last play.
Yeah.
Giannis is not making 3s ever, it feels like.
Just reading off my points, he has 2 straight MVPs, and many were arguing he should have a 3rd this season, but he choked against the Raptors, and he couldn't even beat the 5th-seeded Heat last season.
Yeah, he's not getting enough. 67.9% from the free throw line, 30% from 3.
Which is, honestly...
For someone who people want to win a 3rd MVP, that is fucking low.
That is not good.
When you're winning an MVP, you better be... At least... and then his field goal is 56.6. I'm just saying, it's like, he needs to be doing a lot. Like, Steph Curry, for example, shooting his fucking mind out. Carrying his team. Defending well enough.
Not even really getting considered for
exactly. Giannis is seriously in contention. He's doing, these numbers. 28.4 points a game. 11.3 rebounds. So 6 assists. He's doing fucking everything.
It's another thing. Just like, to me, he just seems like a regular season player.
Yeah, it's like disappears in the playoffs. Or at least his team does.
He always gets exposed in the playoffs because he can't... He does shoot, but he's just not good enough.
It's not enough. And his like one thing you brought up before is that he changed his shot from when he came into the league, and it looks worse. Yeah. Which after I saw it, I definitely have to agree, and I think that's a really good point because it's like
my comparison to Giannis is he's another thing, like he won Defensive Player of the Year, but he wouldn't even guard Jimmy Butler in the playoffs last season.
So, and that was probably the assignment.
My comparison of Giannis is he's just a Ben Simmons who shoots more.
I feel like he's also more athletic. He's
a pretty athletic.
2-pound difference, by the way. I feel like he's more athletic. Maybe it's just his stature, because I feel like he's just quicker. I don't know. Him at 242 is like an interesting number compared to how fast he looks. And how like how bulkier he looks than KD, who's 240, and how much quicker he is, or at least looks like, to Ben Simmons, who's also a very quick player. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, I feel like it's like the stride length or something, because he's just running. He's just like James Wiseman perfected almost, because it's like the way he goes around the court is crazy, but it's like
he just
can't fucking shoot.
Can't shoot, and
anywhere.
The key thing with almost all these players I have on this list, other than on maybe Hero, is that these guys just don't show up in the playoffs.
And all of them, I feel like, last 3 were comparisons to LeBron?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Kawhi, Ben, and Giannis were all compared to LeBron.
They're not LeBron.
Yeah.
The LeBron's thing is that LeBron is always LeBron. He is always, when he was younger. We're talking about like prime. These guys, like Giannis, prime. Kawhi, a little past it, but we're talking about, let's say, late Spurs Kawhi. And then Ben Simmons is probably entering the midst of it. So it's like they're not LeBron. Because LeBron played a fucking full season. In his prime, he played a full season. These guys don't show up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that's where it comes for most of them. If you take out the comparison to LeBron, that's probably the main thing that brings him down so much.
Yeah, that's why I think they're all overrated. Now, the last topic, weekly thing, where I quiz Danny.
To expose my bum ass at NBA knowledge.
The new episode of Zach's Facts. Today's game, it's the NBA nickname game. Where I found an Instagram post. I'm going to be reading you off Instagram from this post nicknames, and you have to guess who it is the nickname for. Now I'm gonna skip all the easy ones like Chef for the Warriors.
Steph, yeah.
So number 1, Atlanta Hawks, the Baptist. And also, just to make it easier for you, I'll give you one hint if you want it for each one.
Give me the hint. Who even dunks on it?
Oh, well, I was giving my hint. Dunk, like Baptist equals dunk.
Yeah, that's what. Fuck. I don't know. I don't even know most of the round. I'll just go with John Collins.
It is John
Collins.
Collins.
Oh my fucking god. I'll take that.
John Collins, the Baptist.
That's a pretty good nickname.
This one, actually, no, you'll probably get this one. I'll skip that one. It was Cardiac for Celtics. Kemba.
Okay, Cardiac Kemba.
Yeah. Chicago Bulls, the Paw.
The paw. The paw?
The Paw.
Someone with big hands, I guess, because it's not the claw, it's the paw.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid. I feel like it has to be someone with big hands. Who has big hands? Lowry Markkinen?
Want the hint? It's not Markkinen.
Okay, what's the hint?
The Paw, the spelling of Paw has something to do with the player's name.
Oh, Gasol.
No.
Formerly? Wait, is this active?
Active.
Oh, active. So I was like, Paul Gasol, Paul. Who the fuck is even on the fucking Bulls right now? Who the fuck watches the Bulls? Fuck.
It'll make sense when I tell you.
Pop McGee. Okay, who is it?
Patrick Williams.
Oh my fucking god, what?
Because P.A. Patrick and then W. Williams. Paw.
Whoever came up with that doesn't deserve to
Because people were giving him the nickname because he's like a mini Kawhi Leonard. Which,
Okay.
All right. Denver Nuggets, Thrill.
Thrill. Half the Nuggets could be Thrill. It's definitely not Jokic.
Yeah, because he's the Joker.
That's a fucking sick name. That's a sick ass name. Thrill. I don't feel like it could be Jamal Murray. No one uses a lot of these nicknames. I feel like they're cool, but like no one uses them besides like Steph.
Remember, give a hint.
What's that?
Rhyming.
Is it Bol?
No.
Does it? What? Rhyming.
Thrill rhyme.
Thrill. Oh, Will Barton?
Yeah, Will the Thrill Barton.
Oh my fucking god. I was like, because you said rhyming, I was like, well, Bol is.
That's not rhyming. It's the same word. All right, Detroit Pistons, beef stew.
Beef stew?
That is it.
What the fuck's the hints for that? What could it possibly be?
Just what would you want? I guess you want the hint.
Well, yeah, because what the fuck is beef stew?
Same thing with the Paw. It's kind of based off the name of the actual player. Wrong part of the name.
Really? Stew. Fuck, I don't even know. Who the fuck knows who's on the Pistons? Dude, what the fuck? I don't watch basketball.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't even know who this player was.
I don't know. Okay, who is it?
Isaiah Stewart.
Oh fuck no! I wasn't gonna guess that. Who the fuck is that? Honestly.
All right, this one I think is easier. I think. Indiana Pacers, the president.
The president. Just give me the hint. Just.
Arguably their best player.
They have 3 guys who could arguably be their best
Yes, it's a
player.
1 in 3 chance.
So it's like Sabonis, LeVert, or Miles Turner.
Make sure you 1 in 4.
I don't even know who the fuck else is on that team. Shit. I live in Indiana. I don't even know this shit.
I feel like you're gonna feel like you're stupid if I tell you you
I'm
forgot.
definitely fuck. Who the fuck is on? Oladipo's no longer there. I need to remind myself.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was even the president.
No.
Fuck. It's too late at night. Who is it?
Malcolm Brogdon.
Oh my fucking god, that's so weird. Okay.
Because people thought, because he's very like sophisticated, and some people even thought he sounded like Barack Obama.
I was not gonna guess that.
All right.
Not looking good this week.
New York. This is the funniest in my opinion. Funny, we skipped an entire row because they're all obvious. The New York Knicks, the Block Ness Monster.
The blockness. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Is it Is it Mitchell Robinson?
It is Mitchell Robinson.
It is Mitchell Robinson because I remember he's getting a lot of blocks, and I was like, "That's what the Warriors need."
So you finally got one.
Fuck
Well,
off.
you also got John Collins.
Yeah. I know. We take those.
And Will Barton after I give you the hint. Orlando Magic Human Torch.
Human Torch.
For the Orlando Magic, because obviously.
Terrence Ross.
Yes.
I fucking knew it. That fucker randomly is like, because when he was on the Raptors, he's on the Raptors, right? I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's where we started.
That's when he was like, randomly would pop off, and I'd be like, Terrence.
Even now
Fucking Ross.
now he's like that stereotypical green light player.
Yeah.
This one might be.
That was really
I
cool.
feel like this one's easy. Portland Trailblazers Airplane Mode.
Airplane mode. Airplane. That also has to be with like dunking.
I feel like you probably forgot this guy's on the Blazers.
Nurkic?
Definitely not Nurkic.
Okay. Forgot he's on the Blazers.
Yeah, I feel like he might have.
Rodney Hood? Just guessing random players that I think might be associated. It's not Simons, right?
No.
Is he even on the team right now? Is he
Yeah,
in
he
the
is.
G League?
What you want to hint?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I've mentioned his name in this podcast.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck! On the Blazers?
Yeah.
What time is it? I feel like it's a little late. Damn, on the Blazers. Let me go through my notes here.
It was on the notes, but I have said his name in this podcast so far.
Fuck, who is it?
Derek Jones Jr.
Oh my god, I didn't even know he was on the fucking
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Blazers.
Alright, and the last one, Washington, this is easy. Washington Wizards Latvian Laser.
Latvian. Shit, wait, who is Latvian laser? Oh, fuck. Bertans?
Yes. Thomas Bertans is the Latvian Laser. Yeah, those were, I look at this post, like, a lot of these are actually really easy. Like, there was fucking Dortris for the Thunder.
Obviously.
Dort. Like, King James, no shit.
Okay.
The only one that even would have been remotely hard was Slow-Mo Grizzlies.
Oh, Slow-Mo Kyle Anderson.
Yeah.
Because of the fucking famous ass Kyle Anderson on the slow-mo,
Actually, this one might be a little bit hard for you. I'll give you this one as like a little bonus. Houston Rockets Optimus Dime.
Optimus fucking Dime. That's absolutely actually kind of cool. Half their team is made up of like random dudes.
Yeah.
Optimus Dime. Do you have a hint?
It's the only player on the team who has like any sort of accomplishment in his career.
Oladipo?
Not on the Rockets anymore.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, shit. Damn, that happened. Oh, no, wait, no. Who the fuck is on the Rockets right now?
You really should.
It's not Christian Wood.
You really should get. Yeah, it's not Christian Wood. You should really get this.
Who the fuck is on the Rockets right now?
The only guy who has accomplished anything.
I literally don't even know who the Rockets are so bad right now. Who the fuck is left? Give me a hint. Fuck it.
Oh.
Make me sad.
I honestly don't know what other hint I can
Oh
give
my
you.
fucking god.
Think De'Aaron Fox.
Quick? Fuck, who's quick? Oh, fucking hell. John Wall is on the fucking Rockets. I forgot about him. Damn. Rip that man's career.
Yep, so honestly, part one of your better performances, because I was giving you hints, but that will conclude this episode of the Shoot Your Shot podcast. We kind of went over the time a little bit, but I've been Zach.
I'm Danny.
Peace out.
Peace.